So that's very weird, but kind of fun. Hi, I'm Meg. Welcome to Plant Fit Meg. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. If you're new to the channel, I hope you'll take a look around at some other videos. Check out my welcome playlist. I'll link it up here. I make videos about healthy weight loss, yummy plant-based recipes, and living a healthy lifestyle. In today's video, I want to talk about more weird weight loss. Can you believe it? This is my third weird weight loss video. I guess it's a series now. I never really intended it to be a series of videos. I thought I would just make that first one and that would be it. But there are so many things that change when you lose weight. And in my experience, so many things that changed that were unexpected and I found kind of odd or weird. And so I've already shared 2 videos like this. I will link them in the description box below so you can check them out as well. There are just so many things that have changed since losing 80 pounds. And I think these videos are really fun to share. People can identify with them and relate to what I'm going through, or you might just watch and think, wow, this girl's a little crazy. I have no idea what she's talking about. But in that case, hopefully it is entertaining nonetheless. I don't mean any offense to people who are in larger bodies with this video. I was someone in a larger body for most of my adult life and part of my teen years, so I know what it's like to be in a larger body. So I don't mean any offense by any of these things, and obviously all of these things are based on my own experience. If you lose weight, these things may or may not be the case for you. You can share in the comments below what your experience is. I'd love to have a conversation with you guys about it. So let's get right into it. Crossing my legs feels completely different. So before, when I would cross my legs, obviously there is more girth, more width to my calves. And so when I would sit cross-legged, they wouldn't really cross all the way, if that makes sense. Like my knee would be like over to the side. I'll try to insert a photo or a clip so you kind of see what I'm talking about. But whether I was seated cross-legged on the floor, like crisscross applesauce, like the kids sit, or sitting in a chair with one leg crossed over the other, it just fits more comfortably now than it did in the past. The next 2 are yoga related, oddly enough. So one is I need to use a yoga mat. So in the past, when I was just doing yoga at home, I wouldn't always roll out my yoga mat just because, I don't know, I was lazy and I just didn't really feel the need to all the time. And now I really need the yoga mat. It's so uncomfortable to not have that little layer underneath me on my hardwood floor. I can't handle it. So I need to use my yoga mat. I can also do corpse pose really comfortably now. So at the end of practice, when you're doing shavasana and people are choosing to do corpse pose, and if you're unfamiliar with yoga, it's just lying flat on your back essentially. And in the past, I couldn't really do it comfortably, or at least not comfortably for a long enough period of time to stay there and stay still during the end of yoga class. Now I can comfortably lie down on my back with my yoga mat underneath me and be comfortable for that entire time. It was a little weird getting used to not identifying myself as a chunky person anymore or as a fat person anymore. I used to have jokes with friends about being chunky and being a fat bottom girl and you know, being curvy and looking that way and having that attitude about it, like, oh yeah, I'm a big girl, but it's cool, it's big, beautiful, whatever. And not to say that that's a bad thing at all. If you're in a larger body and you feel good about it, that's totally fine, that's great, that's cool. But it's weird to transition from being in that body and have that mindset to a certain degree and then losing a large amount of weight and realizing, oh, like I'm not really that curvy girl anymore. Like I'm not really that fat bottomed girl anymore. And it's a bit of an identity issue. I don't want to say an identity crisis, that's way too dramatic, but it's just a weird mindset shift. And I used to talk in certain ways about larger bodies, and since I was in a larger body, it was okay for me to say those things. And now I have to be really conscious that I'm not in a larger body anymore. I'm not part of that club, and so I can't say things that I might have been okay saying previously, which might sound weird, but that goes back to a point I made in a previous video about my mind not fully catching up to my weight loss yet. And so I just need to be really mindful of that. People assume I've always been thin. So I moved to a new town a few years ago. It's actually my husband's hometown. And so I don't interact with people who knew me as a larger person very often. So people just think I'm thin and I've always been thin. And so when they hear my story through the channel or through our plant-based pod or any other number of ways it comes up, people are shocked. People are really surprised, like, what? You lost 80 pounds? What? How? Huh? And so it's really, really fun to surprise people and tell my story. And it was different when I was living in my hometown and I would see people all the time, and people who had seen me either through my weight loss journey or just hadn't seen me in a while and didn't recognize me or were shocked. But now it's a different sort of vibe where I get to shock people in a different way. And it's kind of fun in a way. It's sort of weird. And yeah, it's interesting. Next one's a little weird, very personal. I'm not going to give details, but sex is very different. Yeah, I'm not going to get into details because I'm not comfortable with it, but all I'm going to say is that we fit together better. I'm just going to leave it at that and move on. I thought it was important to mention, but I also don't want to dwell on it. Next point. Before I lost the weight, I thought that the weight loss journey would be very black and white and very like, you do the weight loss journey, you finish the weight loss journey, and then you're done. And that is true to a certain extent, but it's much more gray area than that. And I feel like now that the weight loss is done and I'm in weight loss maintenance mode, I have other goals and other aspirations, and I want to work on my stamina and my strength and my running and my calisthenics, and there are so many other things that I want to do and improve with my health and with my body that I didn't anticipate when I first started this journey. I just thought, I want to improve my health, I'll probably lose weight in the process. Once I'm done losing weight, that'll be that, and I'll be done. So it's interesting to look back on that mindset that I had then and how far I've come. Initially, I had a lot of fear around regaining the weight, and I think that that's totally normal and reasonable based on my previous weight history and weight experience, and with yo-yoing up and down a lot. And even after going plant-based, losing a chunk of weight and having a bit of regain after introducing some processed foods into my diet and then losing more weight subsequently. I had a lot of fear surrounding that, and that fear is not there anymore. I think that if I were to gain a couple of pounds or a few pounds, I wouldn't fret about it. I'd say, hey, it's probably water or, you know, hormones or any other number of reasonable explanations. And if the scale were to inch up another, you know, couple or few pounds, hey, maybe then I'd evaluate what I'm doing and tweak things. But I know what to do. I feel very confident in it. I feel good about it, so I would know what to do right away and how to resolve it if I was having that issue. So it's weird to be in that place of feeling quite comfortable and quite confident that I'm not going to regain the weight. It's not going to happen. This one's super weird and not something I ever anticipated would happen. I can fit into a couple of my son's t-shirts. Granted, he's 5 years old and the shirts fit him more like a dress, and they fit me more like a, you know, tiny crop top-ish small shirt. But just the fact that I could fit into something that he can also somewhat fit into is mind-blowing to me, because I could never wear children's clothes even as, you know, a teenager and young adult, let alone now that I am a mom and have a 5-year-old. So that's very weird, but kind of fun. My goal in going plant-based and changing my lifestyle and my diet was to regain my health, and I was hoping I would lose weight in the process, and that was my goal. And I never could have guessed back then where I would be now and what I'm doing with my life now, and that I'm sharing plant-based living with you here on the internet right now. And that I'm so passionate about sharing healthy living and living a plant-based lifestyle, incorporating more plants into your diet if you're just getting started, or really amping up the nutrition if you've been at this for a while and are looking to incorporate even more nutrient-dense foods into your diet. And being a coach, being someone who can help people with their weight loss, help them transition into a plant-based lifestyle, and share this message of health and that you have choices, you have power, you have control over your weight and over your health destiny. To a certain degree, a plant-based diet is not a cure-all, just a little disclaimer there. But you do have so much more power and control over your health and over your life than you think you do. And for me to be able to share that message with you guys is so cool and so amazing and so completely unexpected when I started this journey. So with that, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a like. Leave a comment below letting me know what weird weight loss things you've experienced, and if you can identify with anything that I mentioned in this video or in my previous 2 weird weight loss videos. As I mentioned before, I'll link those below so you can take a look if you haven't already. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!